Hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about why it's so easy to build bad habits. We have all been there. We've all built bad habits over time, and then it's a bugger to get rid of them. And so I'm going to talk about why it is it's so easy to develop a bad habit, and what we can do to either alter the bad habit to get something you need, or alter it so that you can get what you want, or to just get a new habit to replace it. All right, so let's say that one day you're going to work and you forgot to have breakfast, and so you stop at the donut shop and you get a coffee and a donut. Now you say to yourself, well, this is just a one-time thing. I'm only going to get this once because I'm not usually late. So, you know, it's okay if I just get it this one time. And so you get to work, you eat the donut, you feel good. Well, 6 months to a year later, what happens? We all know the answer, right? Now you're stopping regularly, maybe 3 or 4 times a week, at the same place, the same coffee shop, getting the same coffee and the same donut, or maybe you mix it up. Maybe you get more than one now. Who knows? But the point is that now it has become a habit. You do it regularly, and you turn around and go, hey, this was only supposed to be a one-time thing. Now I'm doing it almost every day. Why? What happened? Well, remember, to build a habit, you have the 4 pillars of habit development. You have the cue, you have the motivation, you have the action, and then you have the reward, right? So the thing about a bad habit is that the reward will happen after you do the action every time. It's built in, right? When you eat that donut, your brain gives you a little good shot of dopamine because the sugar hits it, and you feel good for 5-10 minutes. But that's enough for your brain to say, this is good, let's make this a habit. And so you desire that feeling, and therefore you make it a habit. That's what happens, right? So it happens with every habit, whether it's a good habit or a bad habit. The challenge with bad habits is that the reward is intrinsically linked to the action. Yeah, the reward is intrinsically linked to the action. When you do the action, you get the reward, no matter what. It's just built in. And that's why when you develop a good habit, the way you do it is you have the action built so that the reward comes automatically. The reward is built into the action. It's an intrinsic reward. There's no way of escaping it. You know, a lot of habit gurus I hear will say, you know, reward yourself for doing a good thing. Well, I don't think that's good. That is what when you do that, you're essentially having to build 2 habits. First of all, you have to do the habit that you want, and then you have to do the habit of rewarding yourself, which doesn't always happen. So if it doesn't always happen, you don't build the first habit that you want, and it takes a longer period of time to actually do it. So your action has to actually have the reward built into it. It's an intrinsic reward. And that's why bad habits are so easy to build. You smoke. When you're smoking, the nicotine gives you that feeling of low stress, and there's no way you can get around doing the action of smoking without that feeling. You get the reward whether you like it or not. And that's the point. So when you're building a habit, make sure that you have an obvious cue, right? In the case of the donut thing, the obvious cue was you were in a rush, you're going to work, and you wanted to feel better, right? You drive by the donut shop, that's the cue. There it is, there's the drive-through, just drive right in, right? The motivation is the desire to feel good after you eat that donut, right? And the action, of course, is just ordering it and then devouring it before you get to work, right? And once you've had that sugar then the sugar hits your brain and you get a bit of shot of dopamine and it says this is good. That's the reward built in, right? So what habits do you want, right? What is the reward that you're looking for? And the thing about rewards is that you can do all sorts of different actions to get the same reward, right? You want to feel, the idea is you want to feel good when you get to work. That's why you have the coffee and the donut. Well, maybe you can listen to some jazzy music on the way to work. You know, something that really hypes up that you used to listen to when you were a kid or something, you know, whatever. That would be, the cue is I want to feel good. The action is putting in the tape, turning on the radio or whatever it is, and putting in the CD or listening to you know, all these different ages. Anyway, so once you get the action, then the reward will come. You'll feel jazzed up, and when you get to work, you feel good, right? That's the reward. The reward is built into the action. You put the music on, you feel good. You don't put the music on, and so that's, you motivate yourself to get the reward by giving yourself a pat on the back for putting the tape in. No, that doesn't work, right? Put the tape in, that's the action. It makes you feel good, you get the reward, which is you make you feel good. That's the point. All right. So when you have a bad habit, then, and you want to break that bad habit and replace it with a good habit, then stop and think, what is it that I can do that will give me the same reward? All right? We talked about smoking, right? You want to feel calm, right? In stressful situations, you want to feel calm. That's why you have a cigarette. Well, are there other ways of feeling calm? Well, of course there are. You can do some deep breathing exercises. You can do some meditation. You can do some exercise. You can do some, what do they call it? Brain exercises where you're thinking about what, what can happen in the future. Anyway, there's lots of different things you can do that will give you the reward of being calm, right? And so you don't have to have the cigarette. If you replace the action with from smoking with one of these other options, right? And you come up with as many as you want, and then pick one you think is going to give you the reward, the best option to get the reward. All right. So an obvious cue, the motivation to get the reward, the action, and then the reward. That's all there is to it. You just replace the action with something that you actually want to do, rather than the one you're doing now. The nice thing about that idea, is that even after you do the deep breathing exercises to calm yourself down, you can still have a cigarette, right? But you might not want the cigarette, right? So that's the point. The point is you replace one habit with another, and eventually you can fade it away, and you won't need it anymore. So that's all I have today, is just the idea that your bad habits are built because of getting the reward, which is built in. And so to change that bad habit into a good habit, replace the action, it'll get you the same reward, and you'll be golden. All right, that's all I have for you now. Talk to you later. Bye.